From King Kong and Tarzan to the Planet of the Apes, large gorilla-like primates have captured the imagination for hundreds of years. These fictional characters are often scary, dangerous beasts.
And when they finally materialize, they arrive in huge numbers. The problem for wildebeest on the move is that they're always heading forward.
Zoos are home to countless incredible, heartwarming, and sometimes shocking moments that defy belief. From heroic rescues to unexpected escapes, these events showcase the complex relationship between humans and wildlife in captivity. Prepare to be amazed as we explore 20 jaw-dropping zoo moments that you wouldn't believe unless they were caught on camera. Which of these will leave you speechless? Keep watching to find out. Gibbon acrobatic display. Let's take a mind walk a little. In July 2018, the Taronga Zoo in Australia showcased an awe-inspiring display featuring a breeding pair of white-cheeked gibbons, Kayak and Nellie. This event was part of the zoo's ongoing efforts to conserve this critically endangered species.
Gibbons are typically monogamous, and his parents have been together for many years,
which has suffered severe population declines due to habitat loss and hunting in Southeast Asia. The gibbons were introduced to their new exhibit on the Rainforest Trail, which mimicked their natural habitat with specially designed climbing structures. Visitors were captivated as the gibbons swung gracefully through the trees, demonstrating their extraordinary agility and playful nature. This display not only entertained, but also educated the public on the importance of preserving natural behaviors in captivity. The event highlighted the zoo's commitment to animal welfare and conservation, using the gibbons as ambassadors to raise awareness about their plight and the need for global conservation efforts. That's not all. Keep watching for more. Lioness pouncing on toddler. In November 2022, a shocking incident unfolded at a zoo in Dagestan, Russia, when a lioness broke free from her tether and pounced toward a toddler. Despite the boy's older brother trying to distract the lioness, it remained fixated on the child, while their mother's laughter echoed in the background. Fortunately, she managed to rescue the toddler unscathed.
Horrifying video of a lion cub pouncing on a baby.
This alarming event raised serious concerns about zoo safety protocols and the risks of keeping wild animals in captivity. It served as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by even well-trained animals and the need for stricter safeguards to ensure the safety of visitors and animals alike. And, in a surprising twist, Zookeeper slapping a hippo. In March 2022, a zookeeper at the Delhi Zoo in India made headlines for slapping a hippo attempting to climb out of its enclosure. Captured on video, the moment sparked intense debate after going viral. The zookeeper's quick action redirected the massive animal back into its pen, earning both praise for bravery and criticism for the method. This incident underscored the complexities of managing large, unpredictable animals like hippos. While some applauded the zookeeper's decisive action to protect both the animal and visitors, others expressed concern about the use of force. It highlighted the importance of robust protocols and training for zoo staff to ensure ethical and effective animal management. Now, for a heartwarming moment, let's see this. Orangutan kissing a nursing mom's stomach. At a zoo in the UK, an encounter between Naomi Davies and an orangutan showcased the profound connection that can exist between species. Through a glass barrier, the orangutan appeared to empathize with Naomi's experience of motherhood, reaching out curiously toward her and her baby. This touching interaction illustrated the emotional intelligence of orangutans.
A mom shared a tender moment with an orangutan at the Melbourne Zoo. Elizabeth Hunt Burt was at the zoo when her infant son got hungry,
And their ability to form meaningful connections with humans. Moments like these challenge perceptions about animals in captivity, inspiring deeper empathy and advocacy for their well-being and conservation. Here's something even more unusual. E-wrestler tug-of-war with lion. In June 2018, 3 WE wrestlers faced off against a young lioness named Axel in a tug-of-war challenge at the San Antonio Zoo. Despite their combined strength, the wrestlers were no match for the lioness, who effortlessly held her ground. The staged event, designed as enrichment for the lioness, drew mixed reactions. While it highlighted the incredible power of wild animals, it also sparked discussions about the ethics of using animals for entertainment. Critics questioned whether such activities truly benefit animals or perpetuate misconceptions about their nature. It gets even more fascinating. Young man watching pictures with gorilla. In a touching display of interspecies curiosity, a young man engaged a gorilla through a glass barrier by showing it pictures. The gorilla's attentive response mirrored the man's gestures, reflecting its intelligence and social nature. Such interactions offer profound insights into the emotional and cognitive abilities of gorillas. They also serve as powerful reminders of the need for conservation efforts to protect these incredible animals and their habitats. Here's a cautionary tale. Woman entering tiger pen for hat. In August 2022, a woman at the Toronto Zoo caused an uproar by climbing into a tiger enclosure to retrieve her hat. With the tiger lunging nearby, she narrowly avoided disaster. This reckless act highlighted the importance of respecting boundaries around wild animals. Zoo officials emphasized that visitors should always seek staff assistance in such situations to ensure safety for both animals and humans. And for a glimpse into wild behavior, let's investigate this intrigue. Gorillas fighting. In October 2022, a video of two male gorillas fighting at the Houston Zoo went viral, capturing their fierce display of dominance. Such confrontations, though intense, are a natural part of gorilla social dynamics. These moments provide valuable insight into gorilla behavior, reminding viewers of the complexities of their social structures and the need for careful management in captivity. Octopus attempting escape. The cleverest of escapes. In April 2016, Inky the octopus at the National Aquarium of New Zealand made headlines for his daring escape.
Inky the octopus making a break for it, slipping out of a New Zealand aquarium by squeezing through a drain pipe.
Slipping out of his enclosure and traversing the aquarium floor, he found a drain pipe leading straight to the ocean and disappeared into freedom. This remarkable feat showcased the intelligence and problem-solving abilities of octopuses, sparking debates about the ethics of keeping such intelligent creatures in captivity. Inky's story remains a testament to the ingenuity of wildlife. Monkey stealing banana from orangutan. For a lighter moment, in November 2018, a cheeky macaque stole a banana straight from an orangutan's mouth at a zoo, only to be briefly held by its head while the orangutan finished chewing. The macaque, unharmed, walked away seemingly wiser. This humorous encounter highlighted the dynamics of interspecies competition in captivity, offering an entertaining yet educational glimpse into animal behavior. The next one would blow your mind. Goose fighting giraffe. At Brookfield Zoo in Illinois, a specific and amusing incident showcased a goose fearlessly defending its territory against 3 giraffes. The video, which quickly went viral on social media, captured the goose hissing and flapping its wings as it warded off the much larger animals. The confrontation occurred when the giraffes approached an area where the goose was nesting with its young. Driven by parental instincts, the goose stood its ground despite the significant size difference, momentarily causing the giraffes to back off. This unexpected encounter delighted viewers with its humor and surprise, offering insights into how animal interactions in shared spaces can defy expectations. Bears waving at visitors. At Hangzhou Zoo in China, a sun bear named Angela became an internet sensation in 2023 for waving at visitors. Standing on her hind legs, Angela raised her right paw in a gesture that resembled a human wave. The behavior was a clever tactic to solicit food from onlookers, captivating audiences both online and in person. This display not only showcased Angela's intelligence and adaptability, but also sparked debates about anthropomorphism and the implications of feeding wild animals. The viral footage emphasized the need for responsible zoo practices, while also highlighting the fascinating ways animals adapt to captive environments. Here's another interesting animal display. Polar bear dancing. At the Pittsburgh Zoo in 2017, a polar bear named Coda charmed audiences by dancing in his enclosure. Coda stood on his hind legs, swaying playfully while engaging with visitors. This delightful behavior was part of an enrichment activity designed to simulate natural behaviors and provide mental stimulation. The viral video of Koda's antics emphasized the importance of creating environments in captivity that encourage exploration, play, and physical exercise, serving as a reminder of zoos' responsibility to prioritize animal welfare. It gets even more interesting. Rhino startled by goose. At the Toronto Zoo, a humorous moment unfolded when a white rhino was startled by a goose. Grazing peacefully, the rhino was caught off guard when the goose flapped its wings near its nest. Startled, the rhino leapt back, nearly stepping on the nest. This unexpected reaction, captured on video, highlighted the unpredictability of animal interactions. The encounter reminded viewers of how instincts, whether territorial in geese or defensive in rhinos, can lead to amusing yet thought-provoking moments in shared habitats. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Black swan feeding koi fish. At the Swan Lake Resort in Kending, Taiwan, a charming interaction occurred in 2020 when a black swan appeared to feed koi fish. As the swan dipped its beak into the water to moisten food pellets, koi eagerly gathered to snatch up the fallen morsels. While not intentional, this accidental feeding delighted viewers, showcasing an unexpected cooperation between species. The scene illustrated the fascinating dynamics that arise in managed environments, offering both entertainment and insights into interspecies interactions. There's more. Gorilla breakdancing at Calgary Zoo. In August 2021, a gorilla named Zola at the Calgary Zoo amazed viewers worldwide with a display of breakdancing-like behavior. While playing in a shallow pool, Zola spun, jumped, and stomped in an exuberant display that highlighted the importance of play and primate well-being. The viral video resonated with audiences, emphasizing the emotional depth and intelligence of gorillas. It also underscored the significance of enrichment activities that encourage natural behaviors, providing a glimpse into the joy and complexity of animal lives. Here's a funny twist. Hippo escaping zoo. At the Ramat Gan Safari in Israel in 2017, a hippo named Maya made a brief escape through an open gate. Her leisurely stroll outside the enclosure, captured on video, was both amusing and a reminder of the importance of secure enclosures. Maya returned to her enclosure shortly after her escapade.
Hippopotamus escapes from a zoo. This is not a joke, but as we're about to show you, she has a change of heart and returns home shortly after.
But the incident raised awareness about zoo safety and animal instincts. This lighthearted yet significant moment underscored the challenges of managing wildlife in captivity and reminded audiences of the intelligence and curiosity inherent in animals. Not over yet. Harambe incident. On May 28, 2016, a tragic event unfolded at the Cincinnati Zoo involving Harambe, a 17-year-old western lowland gorilla. A 3-year-old boy climbed over a barrier and fell into the gorilla's enclosure. Harambe, seemingly intrigued and possibly protective, grabbed and dragged the boy around for 10 to 15 minutes. Fearing for the child's safety, zoo officials made the agonizing decision to fatally shoot Harambe. They reasoned that tranquilizing him might take too long or escalate the situation, putting the boy at greater risk. The incident ignited a global debate about animal rights, parental responsibility, and zoo safety standards. Critics questioned whether Harambe truly posed a threat, while others pointed to the inadequacy of the enclosure barriers. In the aftermath, the Cincinnati Zoo pledged to strengthen its safety protocols, marking a turning point in public awareness about the complexities of human-animal interactions in captivity. However, no one could have predicted this one. Crocodile attack on handler. In April 2018, a live performance at Wakatani Zoo in Thailand went horrifyingly wrong when a seasoned handler was bitten by a crocodile mid-demonstration. The handler suffered severe injuries, shocking the audience and highlighting the unpredictable nature of wild animals, even under the care of professionals. The attack reignited discussions about the ethics and dangers of using animals for entertainment. Critics called for stricter safety protocols and questioned whether such performances should continue. The incident underscored a sobering reality. No amount of training can fully eliminate the risks of close interaction with wild animals. And the risks don't stop there. Tiger attack at the San Francisco Zoo. On December 25, 2007, a Siberian tiger named Tatiana escaped her enclosure at the San Francisco Zoo, attacking 3 visitors.
Well, dramatic video shows the moment before a deadly attack.
The tragedy left 17-year-old Carlos Sousa Jr. dead and 2 brothers, Paul and Kulbir Dhaliwal, severely injured. Investigators discovered that Tatiana climbed a wall shorter than the recommended height for tiger enclosures, raising serious questions about the zoo's design. Witnesses alleged that the brothers had taunted the tiger, potentially provoking her escape. Police ultimately shot Tatiana to protect the public. The event marked a grim milestone, the first visitor death caused by an escaped animal at an accredited zoo, and spurred sweeping reforms in zoo safety protocols nationwide. But there's still more to uncover. To disturbing incidents like a coal fire discovered before departure, the Titanic's voyage was marked by incidents that cast a shadow over its seemingly perfect launch. But these warnings were said to have been ignored, leading to the Titanic's tragedy. However, why were these close calls taken lightly? Were the lives of the people on board deliberately endangered? Early warnings and the SS New York incident. As the Titanic prepared for its maiden voyage, only some things went smoothly. One of the first signs of trouble occurred just days before the Titanic was set to depart. The Titanic was docked in Southampton, England, preparing for its historic voyage to New York City. During this time, a dramatic incident happened involving another ship, the SS New York. As the Titanic was about to set sail on the day of the launch, the SS New York, also docked in Southampton, broke free from its moorings. The ship drifted towards the Titanic, which was only a short distance away. A collision seemed unavoidable, and the sight of the SS New York moving dangerously close to the Titanic caused panic among the dock workers and crew. In a tense moment, tugboats raced to the scene and managed to pull the SS New York back to safety. Fortunately, the ships avoided a collision, but this near miss was a troubling start to the journey. It raised concerns about the safety procedures and whether they adequately handled unexpected situations. But could this have been a warning of the tragedy that would later happen? Some wondered if the Titanic should have heeded this sign and stayed safely at the dock. It was a question that lingered in the minds of many, even after the Titanic's fateful journey ended. What's more, as if the near miss wasn't enough, another problem worried the ship's crew and officers. Before the Titanic left port, a coal fire was discovered in one of the ship's coal bunkers. Coal fires were not uncommon in ships of that era, but they were dangerous as they could weaken the ship's structure and pose a severe risk. The fire was found in the Titanic's coal bunker, crucial for the ship's engines and overall operation. But this was another warning sign, a warning of the tragedy that would soon happen. The crew worked tirelessly to contain the fire and prevent it from spreading. But despite their efforts, a coal fire raised concerns about the ship's safety. The issue was not widely publicized, but it was another sign that things were not perfect with the Titanic. The fire could have severely impacted the ship's performance and stability during its voyage. However, despite the fire's destructive force, its significance was often overlooked in the aftermath of the Titanic's sinking. Many focused instead on the iceberg collision as the sole cause of the disaster, ignoring the pre-existing dangers that had lurked beneath the surface. But as time passed and more evidence came to light, the importance of the pre-voyage fire became undeniable. It was a silent threat, unseen and unnoticed by most, but its impact would be felt far and wide. The fire weakened the ship's body, making it more susceptible to damage from external forces. So when the Titanic struck the iceberg, its weakened structure could not withstand the impact, hastening its collapse into the icy depths below. But what if I told you there were other issues surrounding the Titanic's preparation? And it's not only the near miss with SS New York or the coal fire incident. Something happened during the construction that many believe were also signs of impending danger. You may not have heard, but there were several accidents and fatalities at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast. Workers were injured, and some killed in accidents during the construction of this magnificent ship. Some saw these fatalities as omens, suggesting that the Titanic was cursed or something was wrong with the ship's design and construction While accidents are unfortunately common in large-scale construction projects, the high number of fatalities surrounding the Titanic contributed to a growing sense of unease. The Titanic's departure was marked by a sense of both optimism and foreboding. Passengers were excited to experience the ship's luxury and comfort. Still, there were whispers about the coal fire, the near miss with the SS New York, and the construction fatalities. These incidents created an uneasy atmosphere, suggesting that the Titanic's voyage might not be as smooth as everyone hoped. Looking back, it's clear that these early warnings and close calls may have impacted the Titanic's fate. While each issue might have seemed minor on its own, they created a sense of unease and suggested that something might be wrong. The near miss with the SS New York raised questions about the ship's safety procedures and the effectiveness of the crew's response to emergencies. The coal fire, while contained, highlighted potential weaknesses in the ship's design and maintenance. The fatalities during construction and the coal shortage increased the sense of foreboding, suggesting that the Titanic's journey might be fraught with problems. These issues, while not immediately catastrophic, contributed to a growing sense of unease and may have played a role in the ship's eventual fate. But why did the Titanic's leaders choose to proceed with the voyage, knowing the risks ahead? Was it a lapse in judgment or a reckless disregard for safety? The truth, they say, may never be fully known. Still, one thing is clear. The journey was plagued by unfortunate events, each contributing to its ultimate destruction. But now that we've said this, what exactly is this collision that sealed the ship's fate and forever changed the course of history? The Titanic and the iceberg. The collision was no longer just a possibility, it was inevitable. In the days leading up to April 14, 1912, the Titanic crew received several warnings about ice in the area ahead. These messages were sent from other ships already navigating the North Atlantic, which had spotted large icebergs and fields of ice. The warnings came from ships like the SS Californian, the Baltic, and the Mesaba, alerting the Titanic to the dangerous conditions. But despite these warnings, many of the messages were not treated with the seriousness they deserved. Some warnings were never delivered to the captain or senior officers. Instead, they were set aside or filed away. The wireless operators on the Titanic were busy handling a high volume of messages from passengers, eager to send personal messages to loved ones back home. The warnings about ice seemed like just another set of routine messages, easy to overlook. So the ship continued at full speed, nearly 22 knots, which was very fast for such a large vessel in dangerous waters. Some say there was pressure to arrive in New York ahead of schedule, to impress the world and make headlines. Others believe the crew felt that the ship, branded as unsinkable, could handle any obstacle in its path. Whatever the reason, the warnings were largely ignored, and the Titanic pressed on, moving further into the icy waters. And then the D-Day came. But in the crow's nest, the lookout, Frederick Fleet, and his fellow crewman, Reginald Lee, watched for any signs of danger, but they didn't see any at the time. Then, shortly before midnight, the temperature dropped suddenly, a clear sign that the ship was entering icy waters. The cold became intense, and some passengers, still awake, began to notice the chill. The lookout men, feeling the cold biting at their faces, were alert, knowing that ice could be nearby. But without binoculars, they relied solely on their eyesight to spot any icebergs. At 11:40 p.m., Fleet saw something looming ahead, a dark shape, darker than the night sky itself. He quickly realized it was an iceberg, a massive wall of ice. Fleet rang the warning bell 3 times, calling for help, and the officers on the bridge immediately sprang into action. The first officer, William Murdoch, ordered a hard turn to port and called for the engines to be reversed. But it was too late. Before anyone could say jack, the Titanic struck the iceberg on its starboard. The impact was not head-on, which might have been less catastrophic. Still, the iceberg scraped along the side of the ship, causing a series of small gashes in the hull below the waterline. These openings allowed seawater to flood into the ship's compartments. However, the collision was so gentle that many passengers didn't notice it. Some felt a slight bump or a shudder, while others didn't feel anything at all. Those who were awake wondered if something minor had happened. But down in the lower decks, in the mailroom and the boiler rooms, the crew quickly realized the seriousness of the situation. Water was pouring in at an alarming rate. As the Titanic took on water, it became clear how dangerous it had been to ignore the ice warnings. The ship's design, while advanced, was not prepared to handle the multiple breaches caused by the iceberg. The compartments meant to be watertight began filling with water, and the water's weight caused the ship's bow to dip deeper into the ocean. Captain Edward Smith and his officers quickly understood the gravity of the situation. The ship was designed to stay afloat with up to 4 compartments flooded, but the iceberg had damaged at least 5. The ship was sinking, and there were not enough lifeboats for everyone on board. The crew began to send distress signals, hoping nearby ships would aid them. Panic began to spread among the passengers and crew minutes after the collision. The Titanic was taking on more water, and the lifeboats were being prepared for launch. The reality of the situation set in. There were not enough lifeboats to save everyone on board. The crew tried to keep order as they loaded women and children first into the lifeboats.
I shall require women and children only. So gentlemen, please stay exactly where you are.
Some lifeboats were launched only half full, as people hesitated to leave the unsinkable ship. Many believed the Titanic was safer than the small lifeboats bobbing in the freezing water. But as the bow dipped further, the truth became impossible to deny. The unsinkable Titanic was sinking. At exactly 2:20 a.m., the Titanic broke apart. It disappeared beneath the surface, sinking to the ocean floor 2 miles below. The once grand ship was gone, leaving behind a sea of debris and hundreds of people struggling in the frigid water. Eventually, the iceberg that struck the Titanic became one of the most infamous icebergs in history. It was an ordinary piece of ice floating in the North Atlantic, yet it was pivotal in a disaster that shocked the world. The warnings about ice had been clear, yet they were not fully heeded. But recently, there have been rumors about the rediscovery of the Titanic. Is this even possible? For over 70 years, the Titanic was lost deep in the Atlantic Ocean, hidden from the world. But in 1985, an American oceanographer, Robert Ballard, set out with a French team to find it. They used a new robot, Argo, with cameras and sonar to search the ocean floor. Instead of looking for the whole ship, they searched for pieces of debris scattered when the Titanic sank. After weeks of searching, on September 1, 1985, they spotted a large boiler from the Titanic on their screens, confirming they had found the wreck. As they explored further, they saw more parts of the ship, including the deck chairs, dishes, and finally bow, still standing tall after all these years. Finding the Titanic was only the start. Ballard and his team used underwater robots to explore the wreck, taking thousands of pictures and videos. These images helped them create a complete site map, revealing new details about how the ship broke apart and sank. They discovered that the Titanic had split into 2 main pieces. The bow was still mostly intact, while the stern, where the engines were, was severely damaged. These findings offered new clues about the disaster and how it happened. This discovery, however, sparked worldwide interest. People were fascinated to see images of the ship resting on the ocean floor. But it also stirred debate, as some wanted the wreck left untouched, while others saw it as a chance to learn from history. But that's not the end of the search. Now, years later, the search had continued, and divers searching the wreck of the Titanic discovered something remarkable: an old, vintage camera lying amid the debris on the ocean floor. The camera was rusted and damaged, but its film was somehow preserved. When the film was carefully developed, it revealed photos taken during the Titanic's voyage. One of these photos showed what appeared to be a giant iceberg floating in the dark waters of the North Atlantic. The image was blurry and aged, but it showed a distinct shape, an iceberg with a unique jagged top and a deep scar at its base. Some experts believe this photograph could be the iceberg the Titanic struck on that fateful night. The photograph of the iceberg, found on the old camera, reminds us of that fateful night. It captures a moment, a frozen image of the force that brought down a ship once thought to be unsinkable. The iceberg itself melted away long ago, but its legacy lives on in the stories, the movies, and the memories of the Titanic's tragic end. We've come to the end of this intriguing revelation. What do you think about this discovery? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video on your screen. You will enjoy it.